Hey guys, so week number 3, and it was difficult this time to, well, it was the last time. I like my idea of doing this, but yeah, I do the same this week because I said I was going to do it for the whole of February, but I'm changing a little bit because now this week I have 3 recipes from the same restaurant, not the same episode, because that was just too difficult with the ingredients out of season or things I don't like, you know. I picked an episode which I wanted to do recipes from, and then I started to realize I don't get measurements for the whole of the recipe. Almost every now and then he gave some numbers, but a lot of times it was figuring out what to do, and just with this recipe, and it is from Minnie's in Donegal. I wrote it down, Anna Gare, if I pronounce it correctly. And yeah, we're going to make tomato bread. So yeah, he gave a lot of options while he was doing it. So I'm changing a little bit because he said, we'll see when we go, okay? So I prepared this. The oven is preheating at 170 Celsius, pretty low heat. And then I've got self-rising flour, a whole kilo. And he made 3 breads out of them, and I think I'm going to do 6, like bread roll sizes. I think maybe I'm going to even do 8, like tinier breads, because it's more, how do you say it, manageable for me in this household. Anyway, self-raising flour. Then he said a pinch of salt, and then he said 2 teaspoons. So, and he put it directly into it. I got a comment on a recipe where I was putting, well, that was with yeast and this is baking powder. Like I said, one of the previous episodes, no need to think, you know. Anyway, then he had a lot of tomato paste, and I've got these 70 grams tins, and I used 3. I have 3 of those in here, and now I'm not even sure if this is enough, but let's put this in, and then we'll see how things go. Maybe it's not enough, and I know for the next time, and maybe, well, but then he used fennel seeds. We say fenkel with a K, but I used them in a previous bread recipe and I really regretted that. So he gave the option to use basil because that goes well with tomato. We all know that. I do like NSC, the flavor, but, and even like this, okay, but in my bread, I think I'm going with the other option of basil, and I've got dried, because in my mind dried is better than fresh in a bread. So how much? Like that. Dried basil smells so different than fresh basil. Okay, And we need a whole liter of milk for this recipe, but yeah, I'm a bit careful, maybe is the word, because I always use too much. So well, it needs a lot, but I'm doing bit by bit. Let me see, 1 kilo of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, some herb, tomato paste, milk, and then mix. He said knead but don't overwork. So I already got my mixer out, but he didn't use one, so I'm not going to use one. Let's mix this. And he said you could use you can change the milk to yogurt or buttermilk, or even have buttermilk, have milk. But for this first time trying this out, I'm just going to use milk, normal milk. I know yogurt is used often in making bread, even coconut milk. I've heard read recipes from. It was my oven already ready. See, because I think I have about 300-400 milliliters of milk left, and this already looks like it's sticky. So let's do a bit of scraping and see. Yeah, there's more. In the bottom, flour. Anyway, let's do hands in, because this is not going to work. One hand in. Look, oh. And of course, I'll link the right episode with my right baking, my video. So this, I think this is from episode 2.2, and I will link that. And I think I've got one from, let me see, 1.4 from Danny Minnie's. So if you're curious what my next episode will be, probably, maybe I'll change it up, but probably. Yeah, I will link that episode so you have the right episode with the right recipe, you know what I mean. My bowl was. Let's tip it out and see if we can manage every bit of flour into this. So that's the whole recipe. I can use both hands now. Alright, I should have taken my rings off before I start doing this. Yeah, I think this is a good dough. What do you think? Let me give me a second. I'll show you on the other camera, different lighting. It's sticky, but it's still, don't overwork. You can see the basil in there. Okay, that it's a bit sticky, so maybe I should grab some flour. Let's give me a moment. Okay, a bit of flour on top so everything won't stick to my hands again. What am I going to do? Let's divide it in half. He even said it doesn't matter if one is a bit bigger than the other. So, okay, half. And then half again. That's a bit big still. So I'm going to do 8, I think. That's a nice amount of bread rolls, right? Just don't overwork. I wanted to make them prettier and don't overwork. So, how do you say it? It's nice to think you have this thing in your head to make you do things. I was watching a streamer the other day, a Dutch one, and I don't know, doesn't matter for the story. And he was playing a game and he was like, gamers don't look up, gamers don't look up, you know, to remind him that he needs to look up in the game. It's the same thing that I say. This one is bigger. Don't overwork. And they're homemade, they don't need to be perfect. This is obvious, way bigger. Okay, so I've got 8. Maybe I should do it like this. They don't really rise in the oven. They came out of the oven the same way, the same size as he put them in, I think. And I need to, well, he baked 3 of them he said 45 to 60 minutes. So I think I'm going to start with half an hour and then keep an eye on them and use the trick of tapping them on the bottom to see if they're done. But what he did, this one is ugly. He made like an oblong shape, and he did give them a cut in the middle. So I think I'm going to give them a cross. It says it helps them. So they smell really nice. I do like the smell of tomato paste. Anyway, they go into the oven and I'll be back when they're done and we have a taste. See you soon. Hi, so I'm so happy. They are amazing. Look at it. I had them in the oven for 30 minutes and they are completely cooled down, and look, it's the inside, they're completely cooked and they smell really nice. So let's taste it just as is, you know. The color, look at the beautiful color. I think I could use more tomato paste, because that, I don't know if it should, it's only in there for the texture, or that I put too much basil in there, because the basil is really there, but that's nice. It's not too much, but maybe a bit more of the tomato paste and a little bit less milk, I think, to get the same structure. But it tastes just like bread, like mouthfeel. And I've got there, and so I don't know why I'm knocking on all of them, but yeah, I think this is the bread I will be making more often. It's just making, if I make 8 of these bread rolls, only 30 minutes. So Saturday morning, Sunday morning, not even a full hour, and you have fresh, warm bread. I'm going to serve them, of course, with a bit of cheese. I think that's my Dutchness. Cheese on bread. I mean, I do love cheese. So a cheese and the tomato and the basil, I think, is a really good combination. It's a pretty big big bite. Lunch is served. I mean, my tea water is hot. My cheese sandwich is done. Yeah, great recipe. I love this. It's a bit different than normal bread, you know, with tomato paste. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to eat this and then get ready for work. So, hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.